Assalamu alaikum dear viewers, how are you? I hope you are doing all well. Welcome back to another exciting episode. As in the previous video, I have explored that character data types in the C language, signed char and unsigned char. Today we are diving into the realm of operators in the C language, right? So operators are essential building blocks in the C language. Basically, they are symbols to do arithmetic logic and comparison operation in the C language, right? So get ready to enhance your coding skills. Operators based on the two categories, based on the operands and based on the operations, right? Basically, there are two functions. Basically, they are used to calculation some arithmetic operation in a C language, right? So there are two. So there are two functions. First one is that operands and operators, right? So let's understand to it, right? In the C language there are three types of the operators that are used. So now we will talk on the based on the operands, right? So basically there are three types of the operators that are used in the C language. So let's understand to it. So these are three types of the operators that are used in the C language. First one is that unary operator, second one is that binary operator, third one is a ternary operators. What means that, right? Unary operators is that operators where we used only one operand, right? That calculation where we used only one operand, right? That are called unary operators, right? So I'll give you an example of what are unary operators, right? So where we used two operands perform calculation. So that operators are called binary operators, and ternary operators are that operators where we used three operands to do calculation, right? So first of all we understand what is operands and operators, right? For example, I write here a plus b, right? So suppose these two are variables and this is the plus operators, right? So these are two operands and this is plus. For example, here is the value of a variable, hold the value 10, and this is the value of 20, and plus will be 30. So this is the calculation of plus. So that operator is used to do calculation is called operators, and calculation performed on that variables that are called operands, right? I hope you understand it, right? So let's understand it. What are unary operators? So these are five types of where we need only one operands, right, to do calculation. First one is that math operators, right, and second one is that increment decrement operators. Third one is that not logical operators, and fourth one is that address of variable, and fifth one is that size of, right? So these are five operators that are used as a unary operators where we need only one operands, right? So let's we understand it. First one is that minus operators. Minus operator you also used in math where you need to do change the value. For example, in math you used to this value, this negative value you want to convert into positive. What will you do? You used minus operator multiply by the minus operator and flip the sign plus, right? That are called multiplication. By multiplication you flip the sign, right? And this is the positive value. So this operator is also used to flip the sign, right? And positive into negative and vice versa, right? So let's understand with an examples. So this is a writing and simple example where I have declared first variable is int a, integer data type. First one is that integer a variable a is equal to 10 and b variable is equal to minus 20, right? So if we want to print on the screen, then as it this value is printed on the screen. So let's see it. So I'm going to printing the variable a and variable b. So I'm going to printing the variable a and b, right? So what will be output? So the percentage d format specifier is that integer value. So integer value as it printed on the screen, a is equal to 10, then 10 output will be printed on the screen and minus 20 will be printed on the screen. So this is the before the negative operators. So now we will use the negative operators and we will see the what output comes, right? So now I have put the negative operators before the variables, right? So here I have used nag underscore a and nag underscore b, right? So I have not used here as it variable like a. So in the C language we are not allowed to use same variable twice time, right? So that's why I have a new variable created, that is nag a and nag b. That means a negate value, right? By the negative, right? So what will be output? So now if we print that negative neg a, that is multiplication by the minus operator, right? So what will be output? Now this output will be negative 10 and this output will be positive 20. So I hope you got it. Negative operator is used to convert the positive value into negative and vice versa, right? So now we understand increment and decrement operators in the C language. What are increment operators and decrement operators in the C language? So let's understand it. The basic purpose of that increment and decrement operator is that increment operator is that adding by the 1, right? And decrement subtract by the 1, right? So let's understand it with an example. So the increment and decrement operators are used in two ways, where we used before the variables and where we want after increase by the 1, and next we will use in the next steps of programs, right? So let's understand it. Okay, let's understand it with an example. So I have declared a variable a is equal to 10. So now we will apply the increment operator on that operand. So what will be output? First of all, you have to declare the variable in the memory. 10 value is stored in the memory, right? So this statement, when this statement will be executed, a is equal to a increment, right? So where we have written after the increment, right? So this is after the increment. So this value is this variable value is used in the all steps of the programs, right? So if we want to print it now, then as it 10 value is printed on the screen, and this increment increase the value in the memory. There a stored the 10, right? So they are in the memory. When this statement is executed, 10 would 10 will be 11, right? So increment by the 1, and printed value is that variable that variable printed value is used that variable, right? Not new value, right? So now we will write before the increment, then what will be happen? So now this statement is executed. First is incremented by the 1, and this variable value is used in the next process of the programs, right? So now 11 value is printed on the screen, right? So as like that negative operator that I used, that decrease the value before and after, right? If we used it before, then it will first decrease the value and will be used in the program, and if we write it after the variable, then decreased value is not used. Original value will be used in the variable, and in the memory will be decreased the value, right? So these are pre increment. If we write after the, these are post increment, right? So as like that negative operators. So I hope you got it. So let's we understand the next operators, that is not logical operator. Basically not logical is used for the condition that conditions are true, it will give the output false, right? So if we write true condition and we will put the not logical operator, then it will give you true result, right? So let's understand with an example. Suppose a is 10 and b is equal to 30, right? So two value I have written here. So now we'll write into a condition. So this is the condition by using less than operator. We have applied not operator. What means that? It means that here is 10 and here is 30. So this statement is true because 10 is less than 30, right? But we have used here not operator. So what will be output? It will give you the output false. it will give you result the false condition, because we have used here not operator that revert the value, that revert the output. If the output will be true, then it will give you the result false, and if the condition is true, it will, and if the condition is wrong, then it will give you true, right? So if I write here, so no, that means that a greater than 30, that's the wrong condition, right? So now it will give you true, right? So next we understand the address of variable. So AND operator is used in the C language for two functions. First one is that scanf function, and next is the pointer variables, right? So next I'll clear you in the next videos what are pointer variables, right? So suppose in the program I have declared a variable a, and this statement what will be do? And this statement get the data from the user, and it is telling the memory of address where this variable, this is the variable, right? So this is the address operator, as address operator is used in the C language, right? So in the future video I'll all clear the pointer variables, right? So next we will talk about the size of operators. So as the name suggests, size of operator is size of operator is the keywords, right? That tells the size of variable and data types, right? So it tells the how many this data type have the size and have the variables, right? So let's understand with an example, right? So for example, I have written here. So I have write here, this is the integer data types. It will tell the size of integer, right? That is 2, right? So if we write here float, then 4 will be output. If we write here char take 1 byte in the memory. So it tells the size of data types that allocate the memory to the variables and data types, right? So you can also size of for variables. So I have write here a, then it will tell us to the size of a, that what will be, right, at that time, right. So I hope you got it. Size of the, what is the function of size of. So I hope you got it. In that all calculation we have used only one operands to do calculation, right? So in that calculation we have used only one operands, that's why it is called unary operators, right? So in the next future videos I'll describe all about the binary operators and ternary operators. So I hope you got all about the unary operators in the C language. So till then, a lot of care of you. I'll see you in the next video.